All right, how's everybody doing? It's your boy Coach O, and welcome back to my channel. And today we are looking at what my Eastern Conference predictions are for the 2020-21 NBA season. Let's go. So, a couple of you guys might have known, but the NBA is reintroducing the play-in scenario. So basically with a play-in scenario, what happens is the top 6 teams are safe. Seeds number 7, 8, 9, and 10 have to fight for a spot to be able to officially participate into the playoff. I'm going to link a little picture over here for you guys to be able to read if you guys want to read up about it. But so basically there's a total of 10 teams that are in the quote-unquote playoffs. And the first 4 are basically in the play-in. So what we're going to look at is what are my 4 play-in teams and what are my 4 play-in teams that are going to fight for a spot, and what are my 6 that I think are going to be safe. Number 1, start off with our play-in, the Atlanta Hawks. I really like what Atlanta did this offseason. I think that you add Chris Dunn, you add Bogdanovich, you get Rondo, Danilo Gallinari, and Clint Capella did not play last year. I think you have an interesting team, and I would not be surprised that they make it to the top 6. Next, we got the Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors were very high. They were a 2 seed last year. Let me just double check that. Give you guys the facts. Yes, Raptors were a 2 seed last year, but I think they lose a little bit too much. They lose Marc Gasol, they lose Serge Ibaka. I think it's a little bit too much for them, and I think the Raptors will still be fighting, but I don't think the Raptors will finish that high. After that, we have the Orlando Magic. Orlando has always been consistent. Is this the year where Vucevic is going to help his team make this jump? Because they've always been consistent. They've always been at the bottom. They've been sneaking and they've been crawling. But are they going to be able to take that next step? Washington Wizards. I have to put Washington Wizards after everything that I've seen in this preseason of my man Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook bleeds his identity into his players. And it makes them play at an even higher intensity. I like what he's doing. I like Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal together. I think Thomas Bryant has to have a breakout season. I think he is capable of. I think he's on the verge of it. Washington would be my final team in those play-in scenario. All right, so let's move on. Number 6. Number 6, I am going to go with the Indiana Pacers. Indiana has a defensive identity, so you can always rely on defense to bring you into those games. Oladipo is a superstar, and let's not forget that Sabonis returns from injury, and he did not play last year when they were in the bubble, so keep in mind. Moving on, we got our 5th seed. We're going to go with Philadelphia 76ers. I think the Sixers got a little bit better this offseason. I think Doc Rivers comes in and is able to connect with these young superstars. Your 2 best players are Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And first of all, you got to have a coach that can connect with your 2 best players. Those are the 3 hardest positions to fill in a team. Your point guard, your center, and the coach position. Those 3 have to be on the same page, or else your team is going to have a hard time competing. I think Doc Rivers brings in that pedigree that helps these young guys have that someone ahead of them experience. I don't think Brett Brown was that person for them. But also, let's not forget that we add shooters. We add Danny Green. We add Seth Curry. And it could be very interesting. We have a lot more offense off the bench. So keep an eye out for Philadelphia because their game is built for the playoffs. Okay, next, 4th place. We got to go with our NBA finalists, runner-up. We're going to go with Miami Heat. Miami is a very interesting team because of the DNA that they have. They're very scrappy players. They all want to prove that they belong. Is Bam Adebayo going to have a breakout year? That's the question. Are we able to build on last year's bubble run? And also, let's not forget that they added Avery Bradley, who's a very good, reliable two-way player. Number 3, I got to go with the Celtics. You lose Gordon Hayward, but I think now everybody knows that it's Jason Tatum's team. So Jason Tatum has to have a breakout year this year. I can never count out Brad Stevens because he is probably one of the best coaches in the NBA. So I have to put that as the key for them to win. I could see them winning a couple of games just because Brad Stevens draws something up or makes the right adjustments. And don't forget, we added Tristan Thompson, and I think that's, he fits what they are trying to do. Tristan Thompson is almost like a Marcus Smart, but at the center position, willing to do all the dirty work. And I think that especially in the early season, you're gonna need some of those guys who are willing to get down and dirty to win some of these games. Number 2, Brooklyn. How can I not talk about Brooklyn? This is our first year we're seeing a full season of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, probably in the top 5 scorers in the NBA right now. I think Brooklyn is going to be dangerous, and I think that in their division that is loaded, because don't forget, in Brooklyn's division, they have Philly's in that division, Toronto's in that division. There's them, and there is also one more. Philly, Toronto, Boston, and them. So let's not forget that you get a couple wins against these teams in your division. It could kind of lead you towards, it could propel your season, especially if you get those early. I think that Brooklyn is a deep team. I think that they have a lot of players that could play multiple positions, and that makes it hard for you to prep. It's all about matchups in the NBA. And just having those different kind of players that you can play at any time, that could be a problem for other teams, especially with their preparation. There's even talks about playing Kevin Durant at the 5 sometimes. So could you imagine a small ball lineup? You have Kevin Durant, Caris LeVert's a big player, Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyrie Irving. It's gonna be fun. For me, Brooklyn's gonna be number 2, and I think that they will be close to taking out that number 1 seed if they click at the right moment. And our number 1, I have to go with Milwaukee Bucks. 1, because their division is weak, but 2, also because they did get better. Okay? You add more depth to your roster. You add Torrey Craig. You add Bryn Forbes, Bobby Portis, DJ Augustin. But the key here, the absolute key, is Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday is the first point guard that Giannis gets to play with, because what people started realizing a little bit too late was that the Bucks were a team that was built for the regular season. In the regular season, nobody's really prepping, making adjustments like that. So you have Giannis, who's going to be a point guard during the regular season. But then what happens in the playoffs is that teams adjust for Giannis, and now all of the other decision makers have not been used to making those decisions during the regular season. So that makes it a little bit of a tricky situation where now guys like Bledsoe, guys who are supposed to be considered guards, don't have that experience taking decisions. I think Drew Holiday is the first one because he's always on. He plays defense. He could guard 1 through 5. He can play point guard. He could relieve some of that pressure. Makes great decisions off the pick and roll. I think Drew Holiday is a great pick. So yeah, that's those are my picks for the Eastern Conference. Thank you for staying till the end of this video. If you like, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like, because it helps us in the algorithms and we can get the conversation going. I'm excited for this NBA season. And if you agree or disagree with anything that I said today, comment below and let's get the conversation going. It's an exciting time. NBA is back. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Catch you guys on the next video.